Now this is a great example of the sort of questions they ask about perfect competition, markets, and firm. This is from the 2010 question 1. In this question they started off by saying corn is produced in a perfectly competitive market, and they ask you to draw side-by-side graphs for the market and for a firm that's owned by Farmer Roy. Now these questions will always give you the information you need to figure out what sort of graph you need to draw over here. Profit, loss, or breaking even in the long run. In this situation, it said that Farmer Roy is making zero economic profit. So let's start over here with the market. We've got demand and supply, and we've got a price. They asked you to label this PM1, and a quantity, this is the quantity M1. Now this firm is a price taker, so make sure to take that price over. This is PM1, the horizontal demand curve, which is equal to marginal revenue, a marginal cost curve that goes down and up. And in this situation, the ATC is going to go down, hit a minimum right there, and go back up because they're in long-run equilibrium. Now make sure to label the quantity, where MR equals MC, this gives you the quantity QF1. Doing this alone is worth 4 out of the 10 points on this fair response. 1 point for showing the market, supply and demand with the price and quantity. 1 point having a horizontal demand, could have labeled it Mr. DARP. 1 point for having QF1 where MR equals MC. And 1 point for having the ATC hit at its minimum and go back up where there's no economic profit. So 4 points out of 10 just for having the right graph. Now the next part of the question asks you about Farmer Roy's demand curve. Is it perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively inelastic? Well, a horizontal demand curve is perfectly elastic. But watch out, this part tells you to explain, and so writing perfectly elastic will not get you the point. You've got to explain why it's perfectly elastic. How did you get that answer? The answer is because he is a price taker. Farmer Roy can sell as many units as he wants at the price that's set by the market. He can't charge another price. He's a price taker. The demand is perfectly elastic. Now, like most of these questions, they set it up with a graph and then they start asking you to make some sort of changes. So down here in C, it says that demand for ethanol has increased. And it also tells you that corn is an input for ethanol. So if people want more ethanol, what do they need? Well, they need more corn. And that's going to increase the demand. So an increase in the demand for corn, label that D1 with an arrow. They ask you to label this PM2 and the new quantity QM2. So according to the question, demand for ethanol goes up, market price is going to go up, and the quantity is going to go up. Now what about for Farmer Roy? Well, he's a price taker, so he's going to take this price, PM2, a new demand equals marginal revenue right here, and he's going to produce where MR equals MC. The new MR hits MC, so this is the quantity F2. So for the firm, the price is going to increase and the quantity is also going to increase. Now if you got that part, you can answer C3. The ATC at QF2 is what compared to PM2? Is ATC below it or above it? Well, it's below it, so it is less than. So that means this firm is now making an economic profit, right? The price is above the ATC at this new quantity. Now the last part of this question asks you to bring in a related product, cereal. If the price of corn has increased because people want more ethanol, that means the price of a resource of cereal is increased. And so is that going to affect the supply or demand for cereal? The answer is supply. Supply will decrease, the cost of the key resource has gone up, and so the price is P1, quantity is Q1, so price goes up and quantity goes down. That's what I was looking for. So this is one of those explain questions, so to get the point, you had to say because supply decreased. That's it. That's what it looks like. Add up how many points you got out of 10 and try the next fair response.